Started. It is 8:03. Thank you so much. Happy Friday. It is March already, March 26th. My gosh. All right. In the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Second quarter is upon us. So I'd like to introduce you to my special guest. It's Agena. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Happy Friday. Thank you. I'm honored and humbled.
Awesome. Well, just real quick, give us a 30-second, basically just a bio of yourself.
Been in real estate for 16 years. Was a programmer prior to that. Followed my dad's footsteps. Started in real estate part-time on the weekends. Lost my job in the computer side when the .com crashed. Ended up going full-time in real estate, making nearly the same amount of money, working on the weekends. Got into it at the peak, 2005, 2004, and rode that peak up to 2006, and it was a cake job. I loved it. And then the market crashed, and I had to put the effort in, but I never went back. I just stayed in real estate.
That's awesome. You said 16 years ago, huh? So this was prior to 08. Yes. How was it before 2008? How was the real estate trend then?
So I worked as a buyer's agent. I would just hold open houses, and I'd literally feel like just taking orders, writing offers, 2 or 3 offers and selling them. And it was like just on Saturday and Sundays, selling, homes like that. It was too easy. And I thought, why not? And then ended up losing my job at the tech company because that industry kind of imploded a little bit. So I just went into real estate full time. Thought, hey, I'm making the same amount of money on the weekends as a programmer, working 4 days a week. Why not? And never looked back.
So who introduced you to real estate?
My dad. So my parents were always kind of dabbling into it. My dad was a mechanic at the airlines, and he did the same thing, kind of dabbled in real estate, and then made the transition. Got into it full time, and I thought he was like a hobby, like, oh, he's a real estate agent. Until I started helping him out, I realized, there's good money. He's taking a lot of time off. He's enjoying life. He's helping people. And I thought, give it a shot. And he's always encouraged me, try it. Bought my first house with him, of course, and slowly, as time went on, I started working for him. So I had a great mentor from day one. I was blessed.
That's awesome. Wow. Yeah. So you're one of the few that have someone that you can lead and follow. As part of a phenomenal team. Not too many agents have the privilege to get into real estate with someone already that they're comfortable with, especially, family. So that's awesome. Mm-hmm. And where did you mostly focus your business?
My dad did like a geographic farm. So he kind of like coached me, and it's hard actually, he's your dad, he's your friend, and literally a business partner. We're 3-way business partners. So I'll say that there was some stress involved. However, what we instituted was I get into coaching. So the coach actually directed me, here's your task that you're involved with and you're going to execute. It's hard for a father to tell a son to do that.
Absolutely.
So it was probably the best thing that ever happened is get involved with coaching, and they're going to be truthful and honest and tell you how to excel in this industry. Absolutely.
Yeah. I have to agree 100% with that. Now, how long have you been with Keller Williams?
It's the only company I've known, the South Bay office. So when I got involved, I had a choice. I had to get my MBA to excel, to progress my engineering background and get into management, or get a broker's license. The MBA was 4 years, about $40,000. The broker's license was like $400 in 4 weeks. So I opted for that and said, why not? If it doesn't work out, I'll just go back to college. He introduced me to Keller Williams. I never heard of them. The office wasn't even open in the South Bay, but they're forming the group. I remember walking into this office, it was empty, concrete floors, and I was like, you're gonna work in here. Temporarily, they worked in the PV office, and then they worked across the street on Lomita and Hawthorne Boulevard, and then they opened up this office, and this is the only office I know.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. To be very loyal with the same company and still 16 years later, still with Keller Williams. So I thank you for that.
Oh, thanks.
Let's go back a year from now, prior to pandemic. I mean, you're a very consistent listing agent, year in, year out. You're consistently getting listings. You're known as the the agent that's well versed in the city of Gardena. So just to share with the group, Al, let's talk just prior to COVID and how you transition yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally, because I mean, we were all scrambling. So just wanted to kind of pick your brain and give us some insight of what you did to modify, adjust, tweak in your business.
To adjust to the COVID?
Yes.
So the coach, and it could be from Gold Coaching, your own coach, he said, or they said, focus on your sphere. And we call them care calls. Everybody from Keller Williams knows. We're reaching out to our database, and we're calling them if they need any help, especially if they're older. A lot of them are afraid. And when we're making the calls, typically maybe 1 in 10 calls would answer. But during the care calls, it was like almost 50%, if not more. You call, and the calls weren't like a minute. They were like 10, 20, 30-minute calls. And they were really heartfelt calls. So talk about a deep connection. That's the direction I went towards. It was time-consuming, but heart-fulfilling and warming. And I think it was both ways. So that's where the majority of the business did end up coming from, was from referrals from those care calls or the database.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, and that's what we try to, remind the agents, hit your database, hit your sphere of influence, connect with the people that you already have some type of relationship, and ask, right? Ask for business. And this is where you'll start seeing a very precise approach in your own business. And, someone like yourself and part of the team is just really anchoring yourself, right? Rolling up your sleeves and doing what you need to do on a consistent basis. So Al, tell us how your morning starts. I'm curious to know how your morning starts before you even start real estate.
So I think it's critical to get the day started right. I believe good exercise fuels the brain, getting the oxygen to flow. And then also, I don't want to sound hippy dippy, but getting connected to the ground. So getting your feet in the dirt, getting your body in the ocean. So I typically wake up around 5:30. I have a group that I swim with in the ocean. They're at 6:15. Another group at 6:30, because it's a little bit light out now. The 6:15, we're swimming in the pitch black with the light on our goggles in the back of our heads. It's not the funnest thing, but once you're out there, it's okay. I feel reconnected to the earth. And there's nothing better than seeing a sunrise when you're out in the ocean. Typically, we'll swim 1 to 2 miles. Another group will cycle, or I'll run solo for an hour. So that's my morning routine. Good breakfast. When I run, I listen to audiobooks. I love audiobooks. And that seems to get my head, I guess, pointed in the right direction.
That's awesome. That's a good way to start the morning. Exercise, feel the body, and eventually feel the mind, and then come into the office and start implementing what you need to do, to go out there and tackle on sellers. It's funny, Al, because this past Wednesday I was talking to the group, and I shared this with the group as well. The importance right now how to shift your business, and going back to your analogy on how you get so many listings. what's the magic formula? What's the magic sauce? What's the pill that you take that I see consistently on the board, listing after listing after listing? So that way we can share with the group, your thoughts and your expertise and how you go after sellers.
I'd say there's no magic pill, like we can't go to Costco and grab that pill. I think it's consistency. I'm very, I'm nothing special. I'm not great looking. I'm not tall. I'm not charismatic. I'm actually I was a programmer. Put me in a corner and put me away. I'm good, So to get me outside of my box is hard. So it starts with the mindset. My mindset is, who am I going to help today? How can I contribute to them? I feel like if we put out or help other people, I think Zig Ziglar said it best, you can get what you want if you help enough people get what they want. Karma, So I go out there, it's a geographic farm, or now I have to call. But instead of like going out and door knocking and I'm going to go get business, I go out there with the mindset, I'm going to go out, visit my friends. I'm going to go visit my farm, see my friends, my neighbors, talk to people. Even in the mornings, the morning groups that I exercise with, last year was a good source of business. They're all triathletes or Ironmen. A lot of them are moving, a lot of them are buying homes, a lot of them have friends and family that are getting divorced, having kids, so they're having to move or do a sale or a purchase. So it's just having that mindset of who can I help? And everything else kind of falls right into place, for you for that, with that type of mindset.
Okay, so what you're saying now, there is no magic wand pill or any of that stuff, right? It's just good old hard dedication to your business, right?
Yeah, and being consistent. So every day, how you look at it, I guess, you could hammer calls, hammer expireds. I've done this. I've been coached with Mike Ferry for, I think it was like the first 7 years. Just hammer, hammer, hammer. I literally got burnt out. I wanted to leave the business, but you can tweak your mindset and say, or focus on a different group, your sphere, a geographic farm that you enjoy, you feel comfortable with, and the people that you meet, they want to meet you, they want to talk with you. It's a different feel than hammering out an expired and then having them hang up on you or, tell you never call back again. That's hard work. The sphere is like, oh my God, so nice to hear from you. You feel good. It fuels you and you fuel them. So it's a different type of business. And I think that type of business you can sustain every day. It's not work. It's going out visiting, connecting with people. So this year, somebody asked me, oh, when was your last day off? Because they thought, oh, you must be slow, COVID. And I said, actually, my last technically day off, I had taken Christmas off. That was the one day. And they said, well, what about New Year's? I said, yeah, even New Year's Day, I had to deliver keys to a house. My buyer closed, and that was the day we negotiated. It was on New Year's Day. But I don't look at it as work. It was like, it was so fulfilling just to give the keys to her. She's been looking for a while, and it was her first home. And to me, that's not work. So I think it's a mindset, like how you take it, and just be consistent. I just do it every day. I talk to people every day. You can call it work or you can call it play. It's your mindset, how you perceive it.
I love it. That's awesome. Very cool. So inspiring, Now, are you literally door knocking right now, or is basically pick up the phone? What does that look like?
So that was so the majority pillars of our business is door knocking. Or I should say, we have a newsletter that goes out every month. I have not done that this year. Now the newsletter is still going out. I'm not doing it. I hired somebody else to deliver it. So I'm now on the phones with the sphere. And open houses was another pillar. I've not held an open house at all. So I thought our business is going to struggle. So what source of business can I pick up? So the other source that filled in the gaps was the sphere, the care calls, and buyers. I'm working with buyers. So you have to find the business somewhere else if you're going to shut down that pillar of business.
Right, absolutely. Awesome. What was your last year's production in COVID year, 2020? How many units did you close last year?
We did 28. I had a goal of 30, so we fell short.
28, and your goal was to do 30, and you fell short by 2. Wow, what a disappointment. What is your goals for this year?
Actually, I'm going to stick with 30. I'm going to do 30. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I believe that you will hit your goals or surpass your goals.
Yeah.
You know, we definitely had a conversation yesterday, and you know, one thing that would resonated what you said, and speaking with a seasoned agent like yourself with 16 years and a consistent listing machine, you said something to me that just blew me away. And you said to me, I got to work on my skill set.
Yes.
And I was like taken back when you said skill set. My gosh, this is a guy that, you know, every month I see 2 to 3 transactions. Tell us a little bit more why you're compelled to tell yourself you need to work more on your skill set, more on your presentation.
Last Friday, I went on a listing presentation. You know, it was a nice home. I thought, you know, I had good connection with one of the sellers, and I had to meet with his sister, who's the other party to the sale. They had met with 3 other agents, and they're going to meet with one more. So my marketing materials right now is I have none. Where I'm still trying to transition the team, because the brand has my dad and my stepmom, who are no longer in the business, and I can't. You know, it's been a year. I need to transition, and I still haven't had time to do that. So I just went in there unprepared. And when I met with her, we had rapport, but it wasn't great. So then I spoke with her brother the other day, Monday, and he said, she decided she liked another agent better. And obviously because she had better scripts, she connected on a higher level, on a deeper level. And I knew right away, it's me. I'm unpolished. I need to get back and practice my scripts and listing presentation. So yeah, coaching needs to keep us focused, and I lost focus on that. I just kind of went in unprepared and winged it.
Okay, which a lot of unfortunate agents do that. They tend to wing it, and then they get disappointed when they don't get the listing. But you're absolutely 100% out. I mean, even the top agents like yourself and a lot of the guest speakers that we have, you know, have to consistently, you know, practice their skill sets, right?
Yeah.
Role playing even is crucial and very important. If it's with another agent, with the significant other, you know, practice. I'm the agent, you're the seller, or the buyer, and just really get dialed in. Because again, even the most successful, you know, agents out there are not getting all the listings, but the percentage is extremely high if you consistently, you know, build your skill set, polish yourself, right? Yeah. Come in very comfortable, confident, and obviously know the area, because that's a very important. When you know the area, you can really paint that picture, tell that story, and it's just an easier flow to, you know, make the consumer or the seller comfortable with, you know. So, and it's funny because I remember you. There was one time you had a box, a lot of Mike or Mike Ferry, that you just got rid of it, and I thought, man, maybe he needs to keep it. You know, to get into, because I remember going through it and I saw a lot of notations that you did, and a lot of it was, you know, just embedded stuff that made sense to you, those aha moments, those rocks, those nuggets that lead you to where you need to be. That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool, very cool. So just wanted to kind of circle back. This was a formulation of a family business. So now it's just really you and Chris.
Yeah.
So is Gardena the main area of focus, or do you have other areas that you're also venturing out and focusing?
Yeah, so funny you mentioned that. We did spread out to North Torrance. I was doing my area where I live in South Redondo, and my coach, Coach Pryor, said, "Why don't you have a pretty good foothold in Gardena?" The odd thing is we're moving people from Gardena to North Torrance because of school district. So the first-time home buyers buying in Gardena, they have a family. 5 to 7 years later, hey, the school's good in the elementary area, but the high school we're concerned with. How do we get our kids into Torrance? Literally moving 2 or 3 blocks across the street. It's about a $200,000 jump, and they were selling their homes. They got equity, and they were able to buy in North Torrance. So the coach said, well, would it be a bad thing to just start in that area? They already see your open house signs pointing in towards Gardena. It wouldn't be too hard to flip the sign and point it towards North Torrance if you got a listing. So I dropped my my Redondo Beach farm and started doing North Torrance, just kind of like spreading out from an area that already had pretty good foothold on to just widening it out. And the people already knew just by the signs, the open house signs, the for sale signs, our presence, they were kind of familiar. So when I went to North Torrance, I think in Redondo Beach, it took me 18 months to get my first listing, over a year and a half. And in Gardena, I think it was Torrance was about 6 months. I started just door knocking, and I knew a lot of people because we had bought, got homes for them in that area. And a lot of them said, oh, no, we see your homes, the open house signs on the weekends. So we're familiar with you already. It was a lot easier to go in that way. So about 6 months and we got our first listing. And once you get the listing and then for sale sign up, and then you do the open house, then you meet all the neighbors. So it's an easier way to get to know everybody.
That is so awesome. I have so many questions I can throw at you just of what you said. You're so embedded in the city of Gardena, but ultimately your coach said, why don't you, because of the connections with all, Gardena, Lawndale, Redondo, and then Torrance, it's just all kind of a melting pot there.
Yeah.
And I like what you said. The mere fact is, why don't you bump up your price point, right? Because as soon as you transition from Gardena to Redondo, you're now in the $1 million price points. Mm-hmm. And the thing, it's like the ocean, it spreads, right? Yeah. I mean, you're already embedded, people know and respect you in the city of Gardena. And a lot of those clients of yours are transitioning because of what you said, the school districts, right? Yeah. So why not, bump up your price point and target those areas? I love what that it really resonates, and everyone that's on this call should be thinking like that. It's okay, if you're focused on a specific farm, but that a city next to it is bumped up in price point, venture into those areas too, and have that radius where you can also be the point of contact. Exactly. Awesome. Very cool. Love it. Anyone have a specific question that they would like to ask Al? I know there's tons of people on this call. Anyone have any questions that they would like to ask Al here? Mm-hmm. All right. Everyone is a little shy right now, so yeah, that's okay. All right, Al. So just one more quick note. So you said that you wanted to focus on this year, and is the traditional trajectory still the same as 30, but 30 listings is your goal, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about working with buyers? Are you working with any buyers?
Of course, it's a tall order right now, but yeah, I have a few buyers I'm working with, putting in offers, doing our best, see what sticks.
So, and let me ask you this question right now, because of the low inventory, Al, that transition, are you also having some challenges getting these offers accepted?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the key, how do we prepare our buyers to be the best buyer possible? If they're contingent on the sale of their property, what's the plan? I mean, I'm trying to, make offers. We have their, house on the market, it's in escrow, and I can't get their offer accepted because it's contingent. So plan B, we're going to sell their condo first. I have a temporary rental for them to land in, and then we're going to start looking to, be a viable buyer, because we tried for months. So we got to think outside the box. How can we best prepare our clients to succeed in this market?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it is very difficult, but it's not impossible, right? This is why you need to be focusing on more sellers, so that way you
Yes.
control the community, you control the area, and you don't have to stress so much if your offer is going to be considered or not. And what you're seeing right now is, these offers that are being non-contingent, right?
Mhm.
Release appraisal, release loan, reduce your physical inspections.
Yeah.
That's tough on a buyer, because at the end, there may be a point where you're risking your deposit. So I'd rather be on the other side, working with the
Mhm.
seller and then getting multiple offers. And this is why it's crucial and very important as we approach our second quarter, is to really anchor and dive deep into your skill sets and opportunities, because the opportunities are out there, and the ones that are getting these opportunities are the ones that are working the business. Okay. If you're not working the business, you're not going to see the results. But if you're working it and you're implementing techniques to help you achieve and get more appointments, guess what? You will get it. For every no eventually becomes a yes. And just like you said, Al, one of the key factors is you went on a listing appointment, and unfortunately and that surprises me, that you did not get this listing. But you also admit it and you own up to that, you know what? Maybe I needed to practice and polish myself a little bit better before, going on that appointment. And sometimes it's the complacency that hits, where, yeah, I'm a good agent, I should be able to lock it in, but the complacency hits. And then when you realize, oh my gosh, I didn't get the listing, it's like, wow, it's like taking 2 steps back. What could I have done? What could I have done to improve myself? And ultimately, what could have I done to convince the seller to give me the opportunity to list their home? I think we have a question here. Morning, I have a question. Ace, what's your question?
Hi, good morning, everybody. So I'm a new agent here, and I was hearing you guys were talking about polishing up your script. As a new agent, where should we start, or what script should we start? Because there's so many script out there.
Mhm. You ever take bold with Keller, or I don't know if you're with Keller Williams or not. That's a good place to start.
Yeah, the majority are Keller Williams. Everyone, I believe, is a Keller Williams agent. So
I think one of the best ways to start, I mean, I think they have so many different programs with Keller Williams, but bold, I think by far will propel you to know the scripts, and that's probably one of the best ways to get started. From there, you're gonna find other agents that want to role play as well. And then, of course, coaching. If you get into coaching, they're going to tell you you're going to role play, and here's a group.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do we have a link to share for bold scripts? I believe we do. I would believe we do. So reach out to your team leader, and they should be able to provide you with some scripts or dialogues. Very good question. Awesome. Anyone
I
else?
have another question.
Yes.
Hi, I'm
Morning.
Priya Kumper. I'm with Keller Williams Coastal here in Long Beach. Thank you so much. Amazing session. My question is, as a brand new agent, what would you suggest would be the best way to lead generate in COVID times? Like, I cannot network the regular way. So what do you think we should do? Thank you.
Sure. I think your friends and family probably be the best. And then from there, I don't know if you're involved with any other kind of groups, like if you have, some of them have little dog groups or baby and me groups. If you have kids, like PTA or Girl Scouts or any of those kind of places that you're already involved. I know it's been tough because everything's been shut down. But if you look, you'll find, other groups or people to connect with as well.
Thank you so much. That's great.
Thanks.
Awesome, good question. All right, Al. Well, I think our time is up. It's 8:33. I want to personally thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to be with this group, this phenomenal group here. I really appreciate you. Continue your success. And, I'm looking forward to seeing the end result when we have the conversation in December. So again, Al, thank you for your time. Great information. Thank you all for participating. And we'll see you on the next one.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.